I'm Rhodora Meliton-Vanderpool. This is the Class Act Podcast. Today's guest is Miss Domingo.
Okay.
Yay.
Good. Yeah. Sorry.
Welcome, Miss Domingo.
Thank you so much. I'm so glad to be here. It's my first time doing anything like this.
And it's my first time meeting you in real life. I have been following you online, you and your teaching partners, for probably the past few years, and just getting to know you online and seeing all the things that we have in common. I had to have you as a guest.
I'm glad to be here. I'm excited.
And we're both representing Toronto and Rexdale, and specifically Rexdale.
And the Philippines.
I know. Mabuhay, everybody. And we just found out downstairs in the green room that my daughter and you are the same name.
Oh my God.
It's like the same reasons why. Like we almost have she's named after my mom and her, her grandmother and her other grandmother. So we blended two names together and
basically like cousins.
Right, exactly. Families in the house today. So I wanted to start off today. Today's topic is basically balance, right? So balancing your life and, being run by the bell. So right now, I know that, I don't know if you want to disclose this, but I know that, you've got a little one. And so as a teacher, we're constantly run by the bell. Do you want to kind of elaborate on what that means?
You know what? I'm a new teacher. I acknowledge that. I think new teachers, when you step into the game, you're trying to do everything you can. You're trying to go above and beyond. You're trying to stay past contract hours. You're trying to come in before. So you're really trying to spread yourself thin for the sake of your students. And I think the passion is great. But now that I have a baby boy, I'm going to have to, for sure, start balancing some things. So I want to find that balance where I can give my students the best year of whatever grade it is, but also make sure I take care of myself and take care of my family. Because now that I have a son, I would want my son to have a teacher who's just as passionate, who's just as intentional with their teaching.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. How do you balance it all? Before you, went on mat leave, how do you balance? I know that you're very, not only athletic, but you're coaching a lot as well. So
Yeah.
you're doing a lot of everything.
Yeah. I have somebody that I looked up to growing up. I was a player at Humber College. Her name's Aisha. She's a teacher as well. So I watched her become a captain of our varsity women's team. I watched her go to teachers college. I watched her become an assistant coach at Humber College, plus go to school. Then she got married. Then she had a kid, plus she's still doing the basketball stuff. So she made that look so easy. She's someone I look up to. And another one of my friends, Zara, she also has a lot of stuff going on and she somehow makes it work. Yeah, those two definitely inspire me. And I also think the basketball, that competitive nature, I think that's instilled in me. And
what do you tell students? I coach as well. And I find in my years of coaching, there's always those students they become bench players. They're not really the greatest on the team. They might come in the second half. They're not really, they're just not ready to be in the spotlight for whatever reason. Right. So when a student is on the bench, what kind of encouragement do you give them? Because I know it's not a put me in coach kind of situation. They're not going to be able to play. How do you deal with that at the end?
Well, if I'm a good coach, I think I'm going to make space and time for them to play. If it's not at the end of the game where it's, I don't know, maybe it's a type of situation where we really need to win, I'm going to be that coach that brings them in earlier. I'm going to make sure you're going to get your playing time second quarter, third, beginning of the third, or maybe you're going to start the game. I think being a coach, you really got to know player personnel. And I think that ties perfectly with teaching. You got to know your students. You got to know how they think, how they feel, how they're going to feel with different situations. I would put that kid in early so that they feel like they're a part of the team.
That's so important to include everyone because I know that there's kids out there that, they make a team and they never see any of the spotlight.
You know what? There's players in the NBA who don't get a lot of spotlight, but they do little things that aren't flashy, and it's important. You still need those type of players. You still need players who do the 3-and-D and they only play defense and shoot a three, and it's super boring. And they're not as flashy as Kyrie and LeBron and LaMelo and Anthony Edwards. They're not as outrageous. You don't have to be flashy to be important.
I like that. It's almost a life lesson.
Literally.
Flashy to be important. We always have to just see your actions, right? Your
Right.
actions speak louder than what you're doing.
And every part matters. Like every action, as small or big, it matters for sure.
So why teaching? I know that you talk about in your online reels and all the other
Yeah.
that I get to watch.
Yeah.
You talk a lot about family and how important they are and your mom's influence. And, just I think your parents are always your first teachers.
Right.
I truly believe that. But why teaching?
Okay, I have two reasons, and I'm going to give you the same reasons I gave when I was applying for full time. First reason is I come from a single parent home, low income, the same story, whatever. So I need a job that's going to pay. I need a job that's going to pay. I need to pay my mom back for everything that she's ever done, all her sacrifices. I think that's the typical story of an immigrant child, right? The second reason, it ties to my teaching philosophy. So I actually went to school around here in Forest Hill. I went to a school called Cedarville and then Forest Hill High School. The walls were white, the students were white, the teachers were white, admin was white. I obviously don't reflect any of those things. That school, although didn't represent who I was, the academics was excellent, excellent, excellent. Like it made me care about my academics because the students around me also cared about their academics. The students around me cared about going to school on time. The students around me cared about extracurriculars on their resume or et cetera, et cetera. So it made me sort of have those attributes as well. After I graduated from Forest Hill, I went to a school called Von Road Academy. That school had all the culture, Filipinos, Indians, West Indians, whatever you want. They had white people too, right? So Caribbeans, Africans, and I felt more comfortable being there. Absolutely. The only difference was there was no bar to raise these students up for excellence. It was almost like, I don't want to say the teachers or admin thought that way. I think it was more of a systemic racism thing. Like, we're like, these students aren't going to get to that level. So there's no point of like, let's get them to here. Not here, let's get them here because this is more like realistic. And I think that's bull.
It is. Well, definitely.
That's bull. And so now that I've went to Forest Hill for the 4 years and I went to Von Road for the 1 year, I thought I need to mix this together. I need to go to a school where the students reflect diversity. Great. But I'm going to make sure your academics are high. I'm going to set the standard high because you can achieve it. You can achieve it. And I think it starts with a teacher who doesn't have that deficit thinking that like, oh, you're not going to be able to you don't have enough, or you're not smart enough, or you didn't do enough reading when you were young, or, oh, your parents weren't with you. No, it's not impossible. Let's make it happen this year, or let's try.
I always say that teachers set ceilings, right?
Yeah.
And we shouldn't. Like, shouldn't even be a thing. Yeah. In teaching, like we tell them to dream.
Yeah.
We say like dream, whatever, big dreams make big progress. Like all these things that we ask them to do, we actually don't show them. Yeah, we truly believe them. And the thing is that I know that because I've been in it for 27 years, right? Like 27 years is a long time. I was teaching when there was we didn't have cell phones like this. You know what I mean? So I feel like in the digital age, it's changed so much. They have so many influences, but we still are so much part of their day to day that we have that impact on them. We don't even realize it.
Absolutely. And you know what? On the flip side, because I don't want to make it seem like Von Road was the lesser school, Von Road had students who came late because they had to walk their sibling to another school. Von Road had students who had extracurriculars or had a job, so they had to leave early, or they couldn't do the homework because they were up late at work or whatever. So teachers were much more understanding of that. And so I think they really got to know their students outside of being just a student and marks and grades. Whereas Forest Hill was like, give me your work. Like, I don't care who you are. You're just another student. Give me the work. I'm marking it. Done. I don't know what your life is like outside. And I don't care to know. I don't care to know. Yeah. So both have their advantages and both have their disadvantages. So I just want to be the type of teacher that puts it all together. I want to be intentional. I want to know my students inside and out. And from there, I want to make the learning fun based on who they are and what they need, basically.
Absolutely. I think if you have the right attitude, which you definitely do, you'll reach that longevity.
Yeah.
So this podcast is about that, right? Stories of learning, legacy, leadership.
That's why I'm here.
Yeah. So I think you really do fit that. You fit that talk and that conversation. I'm going to bring in this story of the bamboo.
Okay.
And I know that in our culture we have a lot of different ways that we use bamboo sticks, right? So we have like tinikling, which is the dance.
Yeah.
And we've got like, different things that happen. But in education, it's often referred to how a child, you plant the seeds, so the bamboo tree doesn't grow, right? I know you know the story because it's a well-known teacher story. So the bamboo tree doesn't grow, but then all of a sudden, you see that you hear about how the roots, that you're laying the foundation. And I feel like in elementary and in middle school, like that's exactly what we do. We lay the foundation or we help to lay the foundation for these children later on. And we might not ever see the fruits of our labor or even the fruits of their labor because they move on to, high school, whatever they end up going to, if they do post-secondary or if they go into the workforce. But we don't see their impact until much later. How do you feel about that? Because I know you're only 3 years in, but in that foundational stages of these children, like what do you think you're trying to really instill?
I've been lucky enough to have both experiences with grade 4 or 5. What is that? Junior and middle school. I want them to have empathy. There we go. Empathy. I truly think because we all come from different walks of life, we have different situations at home. We're all literally just different, but the same. If we can just empathize towards one another, put each other in each other's shoes, we'll be okay. We'll be a happier society. I think students will make more friends that way. I think there'll be less bullying that way. You don't have to body their culture or religion or whatever, but just put yourself in their shoes, respect it, and then that's pretty much it. So we do a lot of perspective artwork and drama. So I do that in the junior grades. I also do it in middle school, actually. Yeah, I think empathy is number one. That's something. I just hope that they grow up to be people who, you don't have to stick with your own culture, your own religion. You don't have to separate yourselves into these classes. You can be in par with whoever you want to be with, right?
So in teaching, Miss Domingo, we learn more about ourselves through the eyes of our students.
Yeah.
And I know that, you're really not only close in age with them, but how do you find the mentorship pieces of your colleagues? How do you find good mentorship? Like if you're a new teacher coming in, some people they actually teach with the door closed. And then there's some I feel like I mentor everybody because my door is always open, but it's really because I get really claustrophobic. I want to make sure that, the kids know that it's okay. You can talk. It's okay to talk here. You're able to express yourself, right? We don't have to be super quiet. How do you find good mentorship these days in our profession?
Oh my gosh, I don't know how to answer that, which is kind of sad because it sounds like I'm going into these spaces as a new teacher and there's no room for or opportunity for mentorship from other teachers. It's almost like we're separate. It's almost like I'm this new high energy teacher who doesn't really know what they're doing, but it's working and the students love her. That's how I think I'm being viewed. And then they've been there. They know these students. Maybe they're not getting the same interaction. Maybe the stuff they're doing isn't working because it's been tried and true for so long, but maybe now it's starting not to work. And so maybe there's that frustration. Maybe I don't know. Again, I'm making a whole bunch of assumptions, but I think I have one teacher and I'm really blessed to have had her at my school last year. She used to be my coach. A coach. She was a teaching coach.
Yes.
So she was paired up with me and then she ended up teaching at my school. Her name's Trisha. Shout out Trisha. So she's been in the game, I think, just as long as you, but she is open to new ideas. She's open to, she's more progressive, I would say. And she's totally understanding with everything that I might be feeling as a new teacher and being secluded maybe, or feeling overwhelmed. So she's totally supported me. We're great friends now. So yeah, she's been great. But I would say that's really hard to come by because I've been in other schools And again, I'm not saying they're terrible people. It's just they're in a different spot in their career, and I can totally empathize. Like maybe, I don't know. There's probably frustration on that level as well. I'm just not there yet. And so I have a different type of frustration. So
What I usually do in our school is the youngest teachers become my mentors.
they become your mentor?
Yes, absolutely. I think mentorship is reciprocal, right? So just like on a team, when you have someone, work on your left, they become experts on working on their left side, and the next thing you know, they're the ones that are like,
Oh, that's a good
so
idea. I
with
don't know if I could do it.
mentorship is basically that's how I see it. Is that like if you were teaching with me, fine, you can call me a mentor, but at the end of the day, you become my mentor because you still have that. You have the fresh ideas. We have our ideas together. So then the collaborative pieces of teaching is really where I think both
That's the magic happens.
the senior teacher and the more novice teacher get to grow together.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Wow.
Yeah.
That's so cool. Where do you teach? Where do you come here?
I'm on the other side of Rexdale. Shout out to Rexdale.
Yes. Okay.
You look great, by the way.
Why?
He's absolutely beautiful. So congratulations.
Yeah, thanks so much.
What is in the cards for, I guess this is a new school year, but you're going to be at home. So what's in the cards for the next little bit?
Okay, so I'm still going to be coaching at Humber College, so I'm glad to be doing that. Basketball has been a huge part of my life, and so I'm glad I won't be losing that part of my identity. I hope to just raise my son, bring him along the way. I hope to get some coaching licenses done. I hope to continue with my social media. Maybe connect with some brands that like relate to things that I actually like and I will actually use. But yeah, that's pretty much it.
Amazing.
Yeah.
What kind of advice would you give to a student that's coming to you, say they want to enter the teaching profession?
Oh my gosh, that's actually happened in real life. I always tell them to like shoot me a DM, and I'll help them with the process of doing the application, because the application itself is like you got to answer questions. You got to really think about like your teaching ideology, and you have to like write these like long answers like through the application. So I think that's the first thing I would tell them. And for those that are on the fence, I would say if you love students and if you want your days to be different every day, go for it. And you can teach anything, because even me, there are some things that I don't really, I'm not confident in teaching, like matter. I remember earlier this year, I'm like, what is matter? I don't know how am I going to explain that? Like, I'm still looking up stuff and bettering myself and my teaching practice so that I can teach these kids. So I would tell these new or people looking into getting to teaching, you can do the same thing. There's something that you're good at and you can teach it. And if you don't know it, learn it. If you don't know it, learn it. That's pretty much it. And I think also, the flexibility of teaching and the creativity of it. Like, you don't need to teach math the way you were taught math. You can like flip it and teach it through basketball. You can teach it as I don't know, poker game. You can do whatever you want as long as you get the concepts and ideas of math in there and your students are learning. That's amazing. So I think that too, that's like a big plus for teaching.
As an influencer and teacher at the same time, how do you find the reception of, I guess, not only your students, but people around you? So like your coworkers and like your friends and everything else.
I would say my coworkers don't really know that I have a social media page. Some of them, I think, I come across their For You page and then they'll bring it up, but they don't know, like, they will now initially. Yeah, they might now. My students, it depends on the grade. They totally know, or I saw you, Miss Domingo. And I think it makes them like me more. I think so. And I think it's not because I have a social media account. I think they just get to see me being myself and see me outside of the classroom, which is really important to me. Like, one of my slogans is teachers have lives, like, I'm not just here thinking about the math and the science and whatever. I am in the back of my mind, but I got church and I got basketball practice and I'm going to chillin' and grillin' on Sunday and I'm going here. Like, I'm just myself. I think that's the most important thing. I'm being myself in the classroom. I'm being myself outside. And so I think children are more relaxed, I think, And I think they get surprised when I turn up the strictness. So
Mhm.
I think I have a good balance. Yeah. I
love
think I have a
that.
good
You
balance.
know what? You've got all the practice now having, this son, and that's so amazing. So listen, Miss Domingo, we usually ring this bell at the end of our show, but just before we ring the bell, just wanted to give you a little bit of,
So cute.
we know the power of the pen, but all guests we're going to be receiving a book. Just take some notes down, a journal, just to kind of.
Oh, I see my name. Did you write
Yes,
this?
I
That's
did.
great. Your teacher penmanship. Teacher penmanship. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me. I love these type of discussions. So thank you.
For sure. I can't wait to, not only hear more about you again, like at the end of the year and end of your mat leave, but we'll have to get together for coffee for real.
Oh, we have to.
Yeah.
We have to.
All right. So, Miss Domingo, will you do the honor of ringing the bell? Yes.
Okay. Good. Am I? Oh,
Claire.
sorry.
Again, it was a pleasure to see you again, Miss Domingo. And again, shout out to your classroom family. Congratulations on your growing family. And, you'll catch us both on the Class Act podcast.
Thank you, guys. Thank you so much for having me.
I'm Rhodora Meliton-Vanderpool, and this is the Class Act Podcast. Follow and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts or at theclassactpodcast.com.